What are the regulatory systems? Regulatory systems are basically things that, how does this brain up here control the rest of your body? How does it regulate it? How does it control? How does it sense things? How does it carry out responses? And how does it carry effects in response to these stimuli that it experiences? So the two main regulatory systems of those organ systems we saw earlier are your nervous system, and yeah, this is kind of a freaky picture, but it's just showing you like the brain, the spinal cord, and all the peripheral nerves that come off from it. And then you have the endocrine system. And for this picture, I say endocrine system because I'll explain like in a few slides later why. Yes, this is part of the endocrine system, but is it the entire endocrine system? Not really. But back to regulatory systems, so the nervous system and endocrine system, these make up your regulatory systems. This is how your brain is able to regulate and sense things and cause changes that maintain that balance we call homeostasis in your body, that normal functioning in your body. So let's talk about the nervous system real quick. So the nervous system, if you remember all the way from, if you're here for PHYL 141, you know that you've probably heard of a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now with the sympathetic innervation, again, innervation is nerve supply controlling and sensing things from tissues and organs. Alright, so here we have autonomic plexuses. So again, we have sympathetic and parasympathetic control of these internal organs. So what I'm getting at here is that the nervous system is able to control, or actually not just control, but more like regulate all these internal organs inside your body. Now, if we have the nervous system, so why do we have an endocrine system? Like, can't we use nerves for everything? Well, the thing about the nervous system, it all involves things going to and from your central nervous system. So it's all these organs can communicate with the brain, and the brain can communicate with these organs. So that's how nervous system control works. But with endocrine system control, this is special because not only does it allow signals to go to and from the brain, but with endocrine system control and hormones, organs don't have to necessarily use the nervous system and the brain. Organs can actually release molecules called hormones that can communicate with other organs without needing involvement of the brain, spinal cord, or nervous system. So that's the cool thing about the endocrine system. It allows these tissues and organs to communicate with each other. So analogy I like to use, like with the nervous system and the endocrine system, they all involve regulation and communication throughout your body. But this is what I like to describe it. The nervous system is kind of like cable wire, Ethernet, fiber optics, where you actually have direct physical connections between things that are communicating with each other. So a server is communicating with your computer and routers as well. So that's kind of like your nervous system. But your nervous system, again, if you look at the nervous system and how it looks like a bunch of cables and all these nerves and these like strings that are tangled up among each other, that's because these nerves are physical objects and solid objects. Whereas the hormones in your endocrine system, they kind of like are able to circulate throughout your body. So these signals are traveling throughout your circulatory system and all the blood in your body and fluids. So I like to describe it as Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or AirDrop or any of those other things. Why? Because they don't require physical wires and connections. So nerves are kind of like these cables, and the endocrine system is like when you don't have these cables. So again, you're not going to have like a nerve running directly from the heart to your lungs or the heart to your digestive system. So this is how your organs are able to communicate with each other. They're able to do it over broad areas. So just like you have Wi-Fi, we can't see it around us, but we know it's there. So that's what's cool thing. You're able to broadcast it to a larger area without needing physical connections.